tonight after a career that spanned generations. Buffy St. Marie is stepping back from the stage.
15 years ago, community members started raising concerns with the Environment Protection Office.
Kahnawake Mohawk reclaimed the St. Lawrence.
Well, obviously, like the idea that comes to mind is just that you'll see Greece with an all-Indigenous cast.
And the one that we love, you've got to see Bear Grease, a takeoff on the Travolta Newton-John original. Good evening, I'm Dennis Ward. Welcome to APTN National News. Thousands of survivors and family members gathered for 4 days this week in Duck Lake, Saskatchewan, at the site of the St. Michael's Residential School. This is the third year that the healing gathering has taken place. After Beardy's and Okimasas hosted the first two, it was the One Arrow First Nations turn. Committee member Delano Mike says the 4-day gathering included healing ceremonies and speakers affected by their time at St. Michael's. Approximately 5,000 people attend each year and listen to and participated in painful conversations about the St. Michael's School experience.
To promote healing for our survivors, because we all know that one day we will come to the day that we're going to have ground penetrating radar here. And what we thought as a committee was that we will honor all residential school survivors and the survivors that residential school attendees that didn't make it home, that didn't survive.
An Innu music production company has launched a petition to support their request for a minimum quota of Indigenous music on Canadian airwaves. In late March, Maksham Music Inc. and the Council of Uashat Mak Maniotanam published a plan detailing the benefits of a 5% minimum quota for broadcasting Indigenous music on Canadian radio stations. They handed it over to the Canadian Radio, Television and Telecommunications Commission, or the CRTC, and consultations are underway. They're now looking to get signatures for their petition supporting the quota to put pressure on the CRTC and radio stations.
Je veux de l'appui, j'ai besoin d'aide dans ma démarche là, pour faire entendre les musiques des producteurs autochtones là, pour qu'on puisse rallumer la fierté autochtone qu'on a perdue dans l'histoire, je crois, puis qu'on veut rallumer ça pour les générations futures. Puis la musique, ben, ça en est un outil pour se réconcilier, je pense.
You can find the petition on Maksham's Music's Facebook page. That's MAKUSHAM MUSIQUE. Well, we'd like to hear if you think there should be more Indigenous music on the airwaves. Here's how to continue the conversation. You can send your emails to news@aptn.ca or leave a comment on our website, aptnnews.ca. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Over 1,200 acres of land that was expropriated from Mohawk territory of Kahnawake in the 1950s to build the St. Lawrence Seaway. Kahnawake fought the construction then, but ultimately lost. As Maricela Amador reports, the community has now taken it back with the Bay Restoration Project on Tikikakwatha Island.
The bay and the surrounding area on the Katari-Tekakwitha Island in the Mohawk territory of Kahnawake are vibrant and teeming with life today. But that was not the case up until recently.
15 years ago, community members started raising concerns with the Environment Protection Office about the water flow in the bay and how it seemed to be stagnating and aquatic plants were growing. It was interfering with paddling, swimming, fishing, other activities that were taking place in the bay.
The island and bay were a byproduct of the St. Lawrence River Seaway construction in the 1950s. What was once a small archipelago or group of natural islands became a rocky, flat, and largely inhospitable place. After After years of planning, construction for the restoration project began in 2020.
When the bay was first finished, I actually took my family on a walk, and for the first time coming to the island since I was a little child, I seen corn growing in the back. And to me that was just a sign that we were doing something really good for nature, for Mother Earth, for the environment, to be able to see something growing, some substance that's dear to Ungwehwe people and Kahnawake people, corn, growing here where, it was essentially barren for a while.
Part of the project consisted of dredging to remove sediment that accumulated over the decades. The Environment Protection Office also harvested aquatic plants and introduced features to invite wildlife back to the bay.
A number of elements were added, including the large linear pond and marsh feature that you see behind us here. There's a turtle nesting ground feature that was constructed. At the request of the community, a beach feature was added as well.
The office also implemented invasive species control. However, Sharon Rice, the manager of the Onage Paddling Club, says that they are disappointed with the project because they continue to deal with an overgrowth of weed.
So when they announced that they'd be dredging the bay, which is right behind me, we were pretty excited because that would alleviate our major problem of paddling in our bay. However, the dredging that was done, and it was done, took place 1,000 meters upriver, and it had no effect on us.
Chief Diabo acknowledged that there is dissatisfaction with some elements of the project.
In terms of stagnant water in the bay area that's preventing use of the beach, that's something that we continuously have to be working on.
For his part, Ragaz says he's happy that the project has finally come to fruition.
What I'm most proud of is just seeing the wildlife coming back to the features that have been created. This island, the bay, has always had a lot of turtles, but because the island was built with that rock from the seaway, it's extremely hard and just didn't provide nesting opportunities for those turtles.
Maricela Amador, APTN National News, Kahnawake, Mohawk Territory.
First Nations people in the Yukon have a deep respect for salmon, so much so that it's woven into their history and culture. But with the once plentiful fish now in decline, this once powerful connection is being lost. But a new plan is hoping to change that. Sarah Connors has more.
The Yukon is the land of salmon people.
This relationship, it goes back thousands of years.
For Chief Sean Smith of the Kwanlundun First Nation in Whitehorse, it's a relationship that needs to be kept alive. In recent decades, things like overfishing and climate change have broken the sacred connection between salmon and First Nation people in the Yukon. That's why Kwanlundun, the Ta'anquachin Council, and the Carcross-Tagish First Nation are banding together. Their new joint plan, Connecting the Broken Salmon Trail, aims to restore the critical role of salmon in the cultures, languages, and landscapes of all three First Nations.
How we make those connections to help our people feel good about their identity and feel good about our culture.
It's not a technical or management plan. Instead, it focuses on salmon's cultural importance.
We want to ensure that balance of having First Nation views and traditional laws and practices applied within our modern world.
Chief Smith is hopeful his people's connection to the salmon will one day be restored.
That's the things that we want to continue to encourage, within our nation and the support of our programs and things that we offer.
Sarah Connors, APTN National News, Whitehorse.
With the treaty fishery underway in southwestern Nova Scotia, a Mi'kmaq Nation and 2 lobster harvesters are suing the Department of Fisheries and the Canadian Coast Guard for infringing on treaty rights. And tensions are even higher after a crate of lobster was taken from a Mi'kmaq boat. Angel Moore has that story.
I spent a day on the lobster boat of Cheyenne Francis. As I was leaving at the end of a day's filming, I saw a small boat pull up and grab a crate containing her catch of the day. You can see 4 people place that crate of lobster onto their boat. It contained about 70 pounds of lobster. The woman covers the crate with blue and red life jackets. As the boat sped away, the people were cheering and laughing. The RCMP have begun an investigation. Francis is shocked.
gut-wrenching, sick to my stomach, disgusted. Wow. I can't even comprehend those guys. Like if they wanted lobster, all they had to do was come over and ask us for it, and we'd gladly give it to them.
Frances is fed up with harassment and losing income. Recently, fisheries officers seized her lobster traps.
You know, you guys keep acting up, and you guys keep messing with us. You guys are going to get hit with more lawsuits. You keep harassing us, you're going to get hit with our lawsuits.
And that's what she's done. Frances, another Mi'kmaq fisher, and the Sipekne'katik Nation filed a statement of claim on July 21st against the Department of Fisheries and Oceans and the Canadian Coast Guard. It claims the defendants owe them for injuries, damages, and losses suffered by the plaintiff are as a result of the defendants' DFO fishery officers and Canadian Coast Guard personnel, aforementioned careless, neglect, and discriminatory actions, breach of duty, and infringement of the plaintiff's Aboriginal rights. Michael McDonald is the Treaty Fisheries Manager for the Sipekne'katik Nation. He says the claim was filed after years of defending fishing rights.
Well, because we told them we were not going to take it no more. We're sick and tired of them infringing our rights and harassing us.
The statement of claim also says damages include loss of income from the sale of the lobster from the confiscated traps. McDonald says the department's actions are harmful.
All dealings with DFO have never been, fair. There's always been some kind of, it's like it's a discriminatorial racist system, and they have no respect at all for our rights to fish, our rights, our treaty rights, our constitutionally protected rights at that.
Frances will buy more traps and continue to harvest lobster to defend Mi'kmaq treaty rights on and off the water.
Oh, I'm very hopeful. I pray to the Creator that after this lawsuit that not just myself, but everybody else is going to be able to go out and fish and do whatever they need to do to provide for their families and themselves.
The Department of Fisheries and the Canadian Coast Guard have 30 days to respond to the statement of claim. Angel Moore, APTN National News, Sissebu Wharf, southwestern Nova Scotia.
Time for a quick break. Coming up, the creators of the First Nation sensation, bear grease, will join us in studio.
Wouldn't it be amazing if there was an Indigenous version and that became summer snaggin'? So that's how the seed was planted.
Welcome back. The summer snagging tour has arrived in Winnipeg for the long weekend. Bear Grease, the Indigenous take on the classic film starring John Travolta and the late Olivia Newton-John, has been crisscrossing Turtle Island for nearly 2 years now. This weekend, for the first time, there's a series of shows in Winnipeg at the Pyramid Cabaret. For more, we're joined in studio by award-winning actress Crystal Lightning, who plays the role of Sandy, and Henry Cloud Andrade, who plays Danny. Cloud, Crystal, fantastic to have you here with us in studio. Crystal, let's start with you. You know, most people are obviously familiar with the film Grease, starring John Travolta and the late Olivia Newton-John. Why was this something you wanted to put an Indigenous spin on?
Well, Cloud and I were sitting on the couch in our house, and Grease came on the TV, and we both love Grease. So we're like, oh, let's watch it. And Summer Lovin' came on, and we looked at each other and we were like, wouldn't it be amazing if there was an Indigenous version? And that became Summer Snaggin'. So that's how the seed was planted.
Cloud, what are some of the ways that you have indigenized Grease?
Oh my gosh, just from top to bottom. Well, obviously, like the idea that comes to mind is just that you'll see Grease with an all Indigenous cast. So just visually, beautiful brown Grease just looks stunning on stage. And we brought culture from Treaty 6 and Treaty 8 all the way down south to Navajo land. We have cast from Mexico from top to bottom. And so we are this Turtle Island representation, this connection, this fusion that really brings this our version of Grease to the top. And we have culture, language, native humor, song and dance, everything you can envision and then some.
Crystal, you've been on the so-called Summer Snaggin' Tour with Bear Grease all across Turtle Island. What's been the reaction out there?
Honestly, every show, it's different energy every show, but the reaction is always just amazing. You know, the eruption of laughter. I mean, there was one show in Vegas that we had where this old Cookham grandmother came up to us and she had tears in her eyes, and she had a translator speaking Dene, and she just said, you know, I've never seen this. Thank you so much for making this happen. And I mean, we get standing ovations, and usually people have tears in their eyes from laughter, and it's just a really fun show. You know, we wanted to bring joy, and there's so much medicine through laughter. You know, Bear Grease is also a very powerful medicine in our culture. So it's just really rewarding and fulfilling for us to hear the audience laugh like that. That was our goal.
Yeah, the Cookham crying with joy, that pretty much sums it up right there.
I mean, we were like, this is why we're doing this, you know? She was sitting there, and she drove 6 hours to come and see us, so that's really special.
Well, Cloud, for anyone sitting on the fence, whether to come out to the show, what would be your pitch?
We are getting buzz all across Indian country. This is a musical. I think we deserve a seat on the table of all the hard-hitting theaters that are out there, all the hard-hitting plays that are out there. We're not just good for an Indigenous theater. We're good and we can compete with the best of them. We got our eyes set on Broadway. This is not the Grease you'd expect to see, but it's the Grease that you need to see.
Well, thanks so much to you both for coming in. Hope you have an awesome turnout this weekend. Safe travels as you take the show south of the Medicine Line in the coming days. And congrats on the upcoming nuptials as well.
Thank you.
Great to have Cloud, Crystal, and the whole cast hang with us here at HQ for a little bit today. Nehiyah singer Buffy St. Marie has announced her retirement from live performances. The multiple international award winner was once banned from U.S. airwaves for her ballad, Universal Soldier. Buffy cited health issues as the reason for this unexpected retirement. She's from the Piepot First Nation near Regina, Saskatchewan, and as a child was adopted by a family from Massachusetts. She became a part of the Greenwich Village rebel folk scene in the 1960s with artists like Bob Dylan and Joan Baez. In 1982, she became the first Indigenous person to win an Oscar as co-writer of Up Where We Belong for the movie An Officer and a Gentleman. Well, time for one more quick break. Coming up, first they changed their name. Now the CFL team is changing its logo.
It gives us ownership of things in our city and be part of this Edmonton's football club. But it's something that can be shared with everybody.
Welcome back. Time now for our photo of the day. Jocelyn McCree of the Driftpile Cree Nation sent us this photo of her looking towards the territory of several West Coast peoples. Thanks for that, Jocelyn. For the chance to be featured as our next photo of the day, you can send your photos to share@aptn.ca. Now let's take a look at tomorrow's weather forecast. Starting on the East Coast, showers and 20 for Halifax and Charlottetown. 24 in Kuujjuaq, rain in Nain and a high of 10. Sun's out and 24 for Montreal, 23 in Val-d'Or under sunny skies, 26 in Sault Ste. Marie, 24 for North Bay. Sunny and 23 in Thunder Bay, showers and 27 for Sioux Lookout. Rain and 23 in God's Lake, Norway House and the Paw. Showers and 26 for Winnipeg, sun's out and 26 in Dauphin. Sunny and 26 for Regina, North Battleford and Yorkton. Sunny and 24 for Meadow Lake, rain and 24 for La Ronge. In northern Alberta, 25 in Peace River, showers and 26 in High Level. 25 and partly cloudy in Edmonton, cloudy and 22 for Lethbridge. Rain and 23 in Vancouver, 34 is the high in Kamloops. Sunny and 27 for Prince George, 30 in Smithers. Smoke and 27 for Old Crow, a sunny high of 26 for Whitehorse. 23 in Yellowknife, smoke and 24 for Norman Wells. 10 in Sax Harbor, 16 in Pawlatuck. 15 in Chesterfield, 16 in Whale Cove, 14 in Arviette. 7 with showers in Resolute and Arctic Bay. A Cree-owned business is being recognized for its innovation in creating specialized underwear for pregnant women. Felicia Cryer-Hosen founded Pregzen, and it sells detachable and adjustable, easy-to-wear underwear for pregnant women. The Samson Cree Nation member was selected as a semi-finalist in Powwow Pitch's Indigenous Entrepreneur Awards under the Startup Innovation category. She's hoping to win the $25,000 prize, which she says will take her business to the next level.
I feel like just being part of this community, I'll be able to, have a bigger presence, and if I win, have money to go on to expand. Making this, I felt like I was solving a problem. You know, I found a need that needed to be filled, and I just felt so blessed that I was able to do that. And I thought the same thing too. I'm like, no one ever thought about this before. I just got up one day, I cut up a t-shirt and a bra, and I made underwear with hooks on the side. And the idea was exactly what I made, that I'd be able to open the underwear, sit into it, and then just fasten on the sides.
To the sports world now, and the Edmonton Elks Football Club unveiled an alternate Indigenous logo to their lineup this week. The logo was done by local Métis artist Conrad Plews. Along with having the logo on the helmets, it will also be featured as the midfield logo when the Elks take on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers on August 10th. That game will also feature the Canadian anthem sung in Cree, and all net proceeds from merchandise with the logo will go towards Indigenous Sport Council Alberta. Plews says having Indigenous art and culture go mainstream is great for everyone.
I think it's fantastic. I like that different groups like this are trying to be more inclusive, to appreciate and recognize our contribution to the city and to the community at large. And it gives us ownership of things in our city and be part of this Edmonton's football club. But it's something that can be shared with everybody. And I think that's bringing people together has been a great factor in this.
Awesome stuff, Conrad. Congrats. Well, that's all the time we have for your APTN National News for this Friday. For news anytime, visit our website, aptnnews.ca. I'm Dennis Ward, Marcy. Thanks for being with us. Have a great night.